is thermal imaging. Why would we want thermal imaging inside of a ghost hunt?
Energy.
How so?
Things we can't see.
Not heat, but cold. We're looking for cold spots. So it's that old adage, just like, you know, the old wives' tale, that ghosts create cold spots. Your hair stands up on the back of your neck. It's a legit thing. So this is a legit camera. This is not a phone app. I know it's on a phone, but it is not on a, like, that is the weirdest sounding car I think I've heard in a long time.
It's a tornado.
Wow, look at that's adding to the aesthetic.
Is that a ghost?
I don't know. If it is, it'll show up very cold on the camera, everybody. So, it does.
Yeah, that thing might need to go in the shop.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
No.
All right, back to ghosts. Actual ghosts. So this is a FLIR camera. What does that mean for you? This is what firemen use to actually help save people. So this is a real deal here. I have it set up for in a certain specific way on purpose, so you should be able to see me, orange, red, and yellow guy. If you were a bridal party, I would be the hottest thing inside the video right now. But you're not a bridal party. It's a joke. You're supposed to laugh, guys. So again, it's going to have some jokes and chuckles throughout the night. But we're looking for blue and black to either take shape or to start moving on its own. When I say moving on its own, it's usually in the shape of a person. So kind of keep that in mind. Now, does this thing capture something every single night? No, but if we're not recording, we won't capture it now, will we? So when we do capture something, I will tell you it is a holy cow moment. It is very clear and it is very concise of what it actually is. I also have this thing set up with a blue dot bouncing around the screen to help you when you get your video back. The blue dot is there to show you the coldest spot in the frame at that particular moment. And it does have the temperature next to it, and I also keep a center crosshairs, and I keep track of all your temperature and all the conditions anyway. But that way you kind of get a guide of where the coldest spot in the frame is actually going to be. So, now this thing is as great as...
This is really weird and very interactive.
Yeah. Are you okay listening to the spirit box?
Yeah, I'd rather have something I can read off of.
You're just listening for things that are pretty specific. Otherwise, it is just noise. I think it is helpful for you to ask.
What happened
like specific
here?
questions. That's really vague.
What happened?
Excuse me.
What happened here?
Stop asking me some questions.
Should I ask? Someone here?
So we know her name's Eliza. So we're asking Eliza.
Eliza, are you
Eliza,
here?
could you help tell us what used to be here? What used to be here?
What used to be here?
Where are we standing? She could say something like home, house, mansion.
What used to be here? .com. Agenda?
Well, then after this long of a gap, I would say there's nothing. You'd have to ask her another question.
Did someone die here? Probably.
Don't ask yes or no questions.
Who lived here? Who was here? Let's go over that corner. Let's go over this corner.
Hold on.
What are you trying to look?
I don't even know. Like a lag between actual people and
A little
the...
bit.
Okay. So I was like, what is that?
Yeah, just a
But
little
it's-
bit.
Okay.
I heard the word magenta.
Magenta?
Yeah.
It's a weird term to hear. It's the only reason I'm going to write it down. I don't know any. But yeah, you're getting the gist of it. And your spirit box is probably what I call the ratio of accuracy. You're going to have the most amount of relevant terms, but you're just not going to hear as much as everybody else. You might only hear like, I don't know, 12 to 15 things all night long, but 6 or 7 of those are probably going to be accurate. Just so you know. I don't know what the hell magenta means yet, but I'm going to find out if it is relevant. If it's not, it'll just be in your notes.
All right. Well, they said something else too, Tony. What did it say? It said .com, which was weird.
Yeah, it's like weird.
That was like really loud.
Yeah, that was very weird.
When it starts to reset and that cursor moves over to the start, what you're going to do is
Can you actually see something?
I mean, I see people. I see you. I see them. I don't know what I'm supposed to see.
How many people died?
I don't think many.
60.
What?
60.
They said 60?
Yeah. Not anymore, but
Eliza, how many people died here?
3. How many people die here?
We just want to confirm that you're giving us the right numbers. Eliza, how many people died on the spot we were standing?
This time.
Hmm?
This time I heard.
Eliza, how many people died on this plot of land? How many people died in your home?
60 again.
No, it didn't. That was
It's
like a
hard-
Taylor Swift song.
It sounded like 60. It's like 16, 60. That was weird. That was really weird.
I think you're trying to hear 60. That's like an unrealistic number. Unless you've heard 16.
How many people die here? How many people die here? What killed them? What killed them?
Eliza, how many people died here?
You should tell him.
What? No, I don't think we heard that.
That's a good question. That's honestly a great question. That's a great question. No, he was straight at, he was in that parking lot a minute ago.
Is that him right there?
Hello?
This is just...
He's so
He
tore
climb over.
No, he's just standing waiting for me. Find anything creepy?
Oh, why nothing? You guys, have y'all got anything? You got anything?
Not
Nothing?
really.
Y'all got anything?
I asked how many people die here and I heard 16.
Good number.
Why you had that question?
I've got
Well, we don't even know where we are.
Where are we? I heard church music when I asked.
It also
where
said .com, which that's
.com.
just...
Yeah,
Let's
I know.
ask
Like,
her
I don't think that's
question.
relevant to the
Okay, Eliza.
1700s.
Eliza, give me your initials. Or your a child's name. I'll take it. That's gonna be too much for her.
My device is really spitting out some
Probably annoyed by all our questions.
Yeah, some very weird.
What's it spitting out? Go
How many
ahead.
kids did you have?
Aid, mother, womb, bad, leave,
Womb,
jump,
water?
run,
Leave.
everything.
Said
you
leave.
think of.
Leave. I see ya.
Leave.
See,
I did.
think, smile, wrong powder.
I'm smiling.
Eliza, are you lonely?
Oh God.
Eliza, are you mad that your house is a parking lot? Because why did they tear down your mansion?
Hey,
Stop.
don't mess with these
I
spirits.
just got the word stop.
He did it.
Stop. Wound.
Because something happened with children. Okay, we're stopping.
What kind of wound did someone get?
No, something bad happened with children.
What
Said
kind
to
of
ask
wound?
about it.
Like what kind?
Wait, he said that?
Yeah, he just said kite on here, so then the kids played with the kite out there.
Kite?
Kite?
That'd be weird if that's
Eliza.
relevant. That's very special.
We're not gonna touch you, girl.
Coming out of this group,
Eliza.
she's hurt. How do you know?
Well, they getting a bunch of words.
Not
Run,
that's
wound.
her doesn't
Well, I
belong
asked
to
her about her kids and I heard kite. So what if the kids was like kite?
What?
What did you just hear?
I asked what happened here, and I heard home just remodeled.
College or maybe like the campus now.
It's remodeled into a parking lot.
Yeah, tore down. Demolition.
What happened?
That's
to
really
it?
weird.
Home remodel.
Kite.
I
What
like
other
her.
words, Landon?
I think I hit
Oh,
something.
I already went through it.
Let's see you start.
Well, I haven't
Tony,
seen
you got
any
anything
pre
coming out of
something.
yours? Tony, you got anything coming out of yours?
I think I hit something.
Uh-oh. Broke everything.
What happened?
Oh yeah, you went to AM.
It's kind of funny, but maybe a coincidence. He asked what happened here, and it said home remodel.
Home got remodeled.
Oh yeah, you did.
Hey, that's good. Wait, why did the mansion get torn down?
It was remodeled in a way.
No, I'm asking Nick if he
Torn
I
down.
do know. I know all the answers to the questions I gave you. There you go.
We didn't get any years though.
All right,
Tony,
let's
ask
head
what
back to
year.
this corner over here. Let's talk about what's going on.
Out here alone? No, it was somewhere, but it said out here alone. I think it just said out here alone.
Something going on in this parking lot.
I haven't gotten anything from this. Alright. I want us to
I
record.
just asked, why are we going over to this corner? It's like, you are going down.
Okay. You're too eager for this.
Stop making fun of me.
Those of you that are recording video, if you're going to stop them, you RI in that consecutive order. So let's kind of go through why we're here. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. Every single ghost story comes down here because we all talk about the same duel. You're going to hear it a little bit different from me because I'm going to give you different details because you're ghost hunting. Your camera's on your right. You need to stop your video and flip it the opposite way. And then start it back up. There you go. So, sorry, just cognizant of what everybody's up to. It's going to be relevant in two ways. So he moves down here from Rhode Island because he's supposed to get married. This guy's name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. His fiance's name is Amanda, unknown last name. So Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all the cash from the inheritance. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money, so he tells Amanda get rid of the doctor. Dr. Ladd moves to Charleston to prove that he's not just after Amanda's cash. As he's coming into town, a coachman set him up to be robbed and killed. So, not a very good start to his stay in Charleston. Somebody was walking by and saw what was about to happen. His name was Ralph Isaacs. He has the same initials as where the doctor came from, R.I. That device in your hand this is the reason why I have it for this specific story and trying to find that RI. Reason why it was showing up on spirit boxes. And I was like,
The RI would show up on this Ouija board thing?
the Ouija board is new. It was showing up on Nancy's device and on Brooklyn's device.
Oh, okay.
Like weird things. Like we would hear like somebody trying to spell something out and it would be RI and initial. Like it was weird. We had RI show up on Landon's device. So again, it's been all over. So that's why the Ouija board is here. We're gonna let this group pass through when it gets closer down here.
Probably
But
coincidence.
anyway, he told
I
me
heard something like risky and then design.
try to kill you. I got some friends at 59 Church Street.
Probably just a coincidence.
I bet ML. She lost her mind.
But as you know,
Didn't it really though? What did you hear?
something like risky and then design. It's like a commercial.
So, 59 Church Street. The number 59 does show up here quite a bit. So, He's like, I got some friends there, you can rent a room, you'll be safe and good to go. Dr. Ladd takes him up on the offer, and the two become friends. The longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. He's proving his point that he wasn't just after Amanda's money. So, Amanda gets wind of this, and she's moving down so they can get married. Dr. Ladd becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Every haunted city you're going to visit in the future has a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. However, I actually have proof for this guy. We're going to get to that. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. He has better seats than Ralph. So they talk about these plays on the way home. They go see Richard III from Shakespeare one night, and they're discussing the new actress that was here in town that they've never seen before. Dr. Ladd thought she was awesome. Fantastic actress. Ralph, not so much. They start arguing. And then Ralph starts insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. And it gets very ugly. They go their separate ways. Ralph, I told you, has a lot of friends here. He goes to see his friends at the newspaper. He puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of like, you're a disgrace to society, sir. Kind of mentality. Kind of a nasty little ad. Dr. Ladd sees this ad and rebuttals with, let's go to Jeweler's Alley. We're going to settle this. So they come down, they took their 10 paces, they turned, the doctor pointed his gun in the air, and he shot his only shot. He did not want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up to the fight. However, Ralph has his one bullet. Anybody want to take a guess where he put it?
His head.
Nope.
His leg.
His kneecap. The doctor doesn't die, but he drops to the ground because now he's got a bullet wound to his knee. His friends pick him up, carry him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies either 10 or 4 days later, depending on which version of the story that you're reading. What doesn't change is Dr. Ladd's death date, which is November 2nd. However, the reason why the other tourists all come down here, by the way, the doctor refused medical treatment when he was back home at 59 Church Street because he's a doctor. He probably tried to bleed out the bullet himself. They didn't actually treat it like what they do now. They actually bled out the lead poisoning from the bullet wound. So again, he probably tried to do it himself out of stubbornness. The other tours come down here trying to get people to capture the whistle. And I'm going to tell you that we already have a voice recorder running right now, so when you're listening to this portion of your audio, listen for whistles in the background. Do you guys hear how quiet it is? It is always this quiet, even on a busy Saturday afternoon. You cannot hear East Bay Street, which is only 2 blocks away. I don't know why, but it's always this quiet. Keep in mind, if you're going to walk all the way through this alley, which I can't take you all the way through because I've been kicked out, and yes, we're going to get to that because that's the funny part of the story, turn on your voice recorders, listen to it later, along with this one. See if you get any whistles that are coming through. Keep in mind, all the locals know the story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street throws a whistle down the alley. I do it every single night. We passed my garage on the way here, so I have to pass this alley every single night, and I always throw a whistle ever since I got booted out of here. Here's how I got kicked out. Here's the fun part that everybody wants to know. This alley didn't come all the way through. It was actually cut off about halfway between us and Cumberland Street. So kind of picture that, which means those bricks on that side are older. Those bricks are sun-dried bricks from slave children. It means there's a full handprint and fingerprint swipes at the end of the alley. I used to take people all the way through this alley when I didn't know my boundaries as a tour guide yet. So one night, my entire group of 9 or 10 people, how many it was huddled around that one brick trying to get a reading out of it. And I treat that brick the same way I do a grave. That kid is not staring at that brick in the afterlife. That is the last place you're going to find him. I'm trying to scurry them along because it's outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. We are not allowed in residential areas. The next day was Thanksgiving. I didn't have a tour. I don't work Thanksgiving anymore because I worked for Walmart in higher management for a long period of time. I'm sure you guys feel my pain. The next day, I got a phone call asking me to either reroute my tour or go down halfway. So I decided it wasn't fair for my group of 10 to be in mixed with 20 to 60 people. So I rerouted and didn't even come down here. I told my team I don't really believe in the story we're going to go to, but we're going to see what happens. I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person. So before we left, somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box. So I was kind of like, all right. What I did not tell them, go ahead and shut that off for us.
Yeah.
What I didn't tell that team was that we were going to be investigating the female pirate, Anne Bonny. So I was kind of like, all right, let's see what happens. We get down there, somebody else, here's the number 300. I don't know what that means in real time. I have to research it the next day. We were there on November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300-year anniversary of her pirate trial. So I went, damn it, now I gotta read a shit ton of books about pirates and not vampires. So I've read more books on pirates ever since then, still. To this day, I keep reading more books, even the older ones, the older English books, because that's where the real stories actually come from. Everything we're going to be discussing at the next location has come from a minimum of 2 resources. Trying to piece together an actual investigation piece out of pirate lore can be very difficult. Have we got anything coming through spirit boxes? You guys seeing anything at all? You're super quiet. Like, you're freaking me out, guys. And you guys were the ones that were nervous. Have you heard anything? Or you've been focused on me?
Not since we've been here now.
Okay. Any terms pop up on your word list?
We got human blog, find him, discovery, attic, and living.
Find him actually was heard last night on a spirit box. Yeah, that's weird.
I heard some things on the way here. I heard horse twice.
You know what's funny? So, my group last night, I only had a party of 3 last night. We're leaving, and the one lady said, somebody just called me a whore. And I didn't hear what she said. I thought she said the word horse because we're still near the big red barn.
Mm-hmm.
So we get closer to here, and she's like, did you write down, what I heard on the way? And I'm like, I did. You heard the word horse. And she's like, no. I heard whores. So I had 2 females and 1 gentleman in that party last night. So it's kind of like all right, somebody doesn't like the 2 of you. It's a good thing we left. And I would tell you that the Pinckney Mansion did not give us pretty much anything last night. So again, it was kind of I don't know if she just didn't like the 2 young ladies that I had, with me, but it is what it is. But you heard horse, right?
That's what I thought I heard. Twice.
Twice. Interesting. Any letters pop up for you?
Just L, A, and L.
A and L. Yeah, I got nothing on that. Have
We
you
just
heard
got
anything on yours?
walking
No,
around.
Walking around.
Like the
Walking.
Christmas tree, but it didn't say the rest. It just said walking around, and then just cut off.
We'll take
But
it.
very
So
clear.
I'm still going to write it down. Any numbers? I'm not worried about the rem in here.
It's hanging around 2 to 2.8. Yeah.
Walking around. That's really stupid.
Hold it up. You've been pointing at the floor.
Well, I don't.
That's
say
why
not
you
do
need to
the sky.
record.
I heard horse
You did?
Where at? Was it over here or back there?
right now.
Oh, just now. Interesting.
That is
So
weird.
I've heard that at least. Well, that's 3 times now. Very interesting.
What's with
And
horses
then you
in
said
this
you had
alley?
AL show up, and that was pretty much it.
Huh? Well,
I didn't hear anything.
All right. Yours I don't have to write down because it's doing it for me. Again, we don't spend a lot of time here just because, again, we're only allowed to go down halfway. But I also like to tell you why this gate is here. And that's very interesting, a little fun fact about Charleston, too. Remember I told you that the alley didn't go all the way through? This was a shortcut to get to the cemetery on the other side in the event there was a loser to the duel, meaning a dead guy. So otherwise, they would have to go all the way down the alley around Queen Street to get to the cemetery on the other side before going to celebrate the winner. So this is what I call the death gate. Keep in mind the wrought iron piece of this wasn't probably here until the early 1900s. The duel I just told you about took place in 1786. So again, memorizing dates is my job. That's why we record everything, so you guys don't have to remember anything. All right, you guys ready to discuss pirates? Is anybody here like a big pirate person, like into pirates big time? No? Brooklyn's like, no, I don't like pirates at all. All right, so, wow, this is...
Kinda, yeah, let's go. Let's see it.
I mean, we're going to get into it, but again,
Yeah.
every once in a while I get like that super big pirate person.
Like,
Poetry. And his sister Elizabeth published all of his poetry after his death. So again, it's not uncommon that we've seen Elizabeth there, but because it's happened in the past. As far as the additional piece, I want to say that she wrote something about him, like a biography at the beginning of it. So I'll kind of dive into it a little bit further, see if there's another clue to verify that. So we're going to be discussing this little tiny building right here. I like to kind of always pull us to a corner. I usually take us to the back, but there's a lot of cars in here tonight for some reason. But this is the Powder Magazine. So Powder Magazine actually is a very interesting building, and we're here because of basically these crosses that you're looking at right now. Those are earthquake bolts. If you're not familiar with earthquake bolts, they're basically turnbuckles. So in the event we have another earthquake, like what we talked about at the beginning of our night, you could turn those turnbuckles and it'll stop the building from taking on any more damage by tightening it up. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work. The reason I bring them up is because this is the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston actually put in. Why? Because this is the oldest government building in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. And I said government building. We do have other buildings older than this, they're just not government buildings. So we're here because this is what I call a familiar. Think of your TV shows where they're using some kind of teddy bear or a toy to attract the child ghost. This is the same principle. This is a building that was being constructed at the same time that Anne Bonny came here to start her new life. We're in a wait a minute, it looks like we were missing somebody, maybe because you guys are kind of spread apart. I'm like, who the hell left? Like, that doesn't happen. So, building done in 1713, and Bonnie came here in 1708, right in the middle of its construction, because this place took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Small building, 10 years? No, not at all. So, anyway, 1708, she comes here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormac. She comes here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Are you with me so far? There's a lot of weird twists in this story. The three of them are running away from Anne's father's angry wife. You guys got that? There was a big scandal going on?
Wife, yeah.
Yes. So obviously the wife is not her mother. So the three of them land in Georgetown. That's between us and Myrtle Beach. Dad bought a plantation. Mom died pretty quickly. That means he's sending young Anne down here to be able to sell anything from the plantation to keep things afloat. Take a step backwards back in Ireland. Anne is said to be kind of a hard badass. They say she killed one of her servants when she was only 7, 8, 9 years old. Remember, pirate lore. Can't get anything accurate. With a knife to the belly. We've had the word knife, belly, and servant all in the same evening, just so you know. Fast forward, buildings in 1713. Pirates are coming through Charleston in 1715. Anne is stoked. Why? She's going to fall in love so she can earn her freedom just like a man. That's how she thinks that's actually going to go down. So, first guy she falls in love with. Yes, I said first because there's a handful, and we're going to go through them because this is a hot mess. First guy is James Bonny. You already see where this one's going, right? Because we already mentioned the name Anne Bonny. Dad didn't approve because he's a filthy pirate. They run away to Jamaica, they get married. Anne Cormac is now Anne Bonny, the famous female pirate. This guy, however, is not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for, because every young lady wanted a Captain Jack Sparrow, right? This guy turns out to be a privateer for the British, so he's a spy. This is not who she wants. So a few years later, she falls in love again. Guy number 2. This is John Rackham, a.k.a. Calico Jack. This is literally the person that they based your Captain Jack Sparrow character off of. So this is the guy that she wants to be with. He has his own pirate crew, and she wants to be part of it. Can't put a girl on a pirate ship. Does anybody know why? Family friendly. Bad luck. I get a lot of different answers out of that question, just so you guys know. So he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy and look like my crew, you can be part of the crew. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. So she's like, whatever, it's a man's world, let's go. But she has to be a female in Jack's quarters. Let's put 2 and 2 together. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl. So he drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby, come back later, we'll figure it out. She goes and has a baby, but returns with no baby. I have no idea what's happened to that child. No amount of research I can dig through can actually tell me. The weird thing about this part of the story is that she comes back dressed like a female. This makes Jack angry because now everybody's going to know that he let a girl on the crew. So, while she was gone giving birth to his baby, he captured another pirate crew down below deck, and Anne's going to go flirting with those guys because that's what Anne does. She's trying to piss off Jack even further. Guy number 3. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack captured. So now we have 2 females dressed like males on the same ship trying to be pirates. This young lady's name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Her and Mary become friends, possibly lovers, we're not going to really know for sure, but the British find out where they are, they send a fleet of ships to come take down one pirate ship. Anne and Mary, rumor had it, were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with their 1-bullet flintlocks. So, probably because they don't know how to use the cannon yet, haven't been pirates long. Obviously, 2 ladies cannot take on a whole fleet of ships on their own. They get arrested. And as they're being arrested, she looks at her captain, her beau, Calico Jack, and she says, "You should have fought like a man instead of being hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up here a lot, just so you know. Now, the judge wants to see the 2 quote-unquote men that actually fought back on their own. He's already tried and hung Jack and the drunk pirates. They're dead and gone. The 2 ladies go in front, reveal their gender. He doesn't give a shit that they're female. They're still pirates. He's still going to hang them. "We plead our bellies," was the last thing they screamed out, because you can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. So he sends them both back to jail and delays the hanging. Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne, brings her back home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4, because we're going to count Mary Reed. We don't really know. She has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Yes, very abrupt. Mary Reed, she actually died a year later in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. You get to use your imaginations on that. Most books and articles will tell you there was some kind of fever. I call bullshit. I'm going to say it was very scurvious and nasty and gross. So kind of use your own imaginations. This space right here is one of the spaces of why I give you that heated warning at the top of your tour. About a year ago, this past September, I brought my group to the back, like I normally do, and the kid next to me goes white as a ghost. Like, he's about to faint. It's September. It's not warm at all. So I have to pick him up by his armpit to be able to stop him from hitting his head on the ground, and his boyfriend picks him up from the other side of him. We brought him to this wall, got him some water, he's feeling better, and then I told them the Anne Bonny story that I just told you. After I spread everybody out, keep in mind this used to be like my big finale, where everybody got to spread out wherever they wanted to go. I said, go have fun with your devices. Those two guys pull me aside. Nick, we are 2 transgender males, meaning I had 2 females dressed as males, just like Anne and Mary in the story, on my tour. And it made complete sense at that point as to why one of them nearly fainted the minute we got into the space. So these are the things that occur that I have to kind of give those heated warnings at the top of every single tour. So keep that in mind. Most psychics and mediums won't make it past the Pinckney Mansion Center. There's too much high EMF that goes on in there, and they just can't take all the messages coming through. So I can't tell you how many times I've had to call the paramedics. Luckily that night with the 2 transgender kids, I did not have to actually call paramedics. They felt fine, and I walked them back to their car. So 2 questions I left out of this location for you, because remember, by this time, you should know what you're doing. I left out the name of Anne Bonny's parents on purpose, and yes, I know the answers. Because I know somebody's going to ask. You know who they are? The other question I left out of here was the name of Calico Jack's ship. What's funny is during the conversation I've had with somebody here tonight, that word actually left somebody's lips. So if you had a conversation with me tonight, stop and think about what we actually talked about. It has come from one of you already. It's very interesting. I caught it first thing. So we are going to spread out in this location. Unfortunately, there are a lot of cars in our way. So we're going to kind of spread out. If you want to hang out here and ask your questioning, kind of go through it. If you have any words or anything I need to know before we kind of spread out a little bit.
We got Johnny.
Johnny?
Yeah, very clear.
Olivia Stuck, or in office. Missile consumer shape and frequent. Wanted separate.
Wanted is good. I like that. It's vague, but it definitely.
I also got $500,000.
You have 500,000?
No, that's just. I wear.
But you have the name Johnny?
Johnny.
'Cause that's
$500,000. Really?
Yeah, John Rackham.
Oh, yeah. No, it came through clear. I've been writing down things that just come out like really clear, not some of like the kind
That's what you
of.
should. Yep, that's usually how this works. All right, guys, let's get these things cranked up. Definitely get some video recording going, and let's see what we can find.
Got Johnny. You heard it, right?
Is that thing going to be able to reach you?
Yeah.
You're going to rip it apart
up
again.
and down.
There you go. You don't pay attention to the numbers.
Yeah, okay.
The numbers get all wonky. As long as this is where you get.
Okay.
That's what I realized. I've been using that thing long enough. I know all the quirks. Just be mindful of other people coming through.
Yeah.
You guys have actually been doing really well with that, so. I feel like a bad dad screaming at everybody with cameras.
Just listen to anything super clear.
What?
So just listen to anything that comes through super clearly. You know?
What is Anne's parents' name? What are Anne's parents' name? Playing something? Forgiving? Forgiving? Yes. She is. 108.
Other side of the water.
Other side of the water. Did they just say other side of the water too?
No. Did they?
He just said that.
Oh, I see you right there.
No, he didn't.
It might not be open. So you know.
What is?
It's okay.
He said the other side of the water.
No, he didn't. I said that.
Bye.
You guys got anything coming through now?
Just the other side of the water. Yeah.
I like it. You got anything coming through?
I had 55
Go over
million.
here.
Oh, the other guy might have.
55?
Didn't you have
What, 500,000? But another like 5, lots of money.
Yeah.
I don't think they had that much money though. What is,
55 million.
From the in out. 59 shows up a lot. Does it?
That was
And the word
59
church.
Church Street?
59 church. So we'll get 59 in church. We also get the doctor's birthday.
Oh, do you really?
I wait for it to pop up before I
So when you put this together, I'm just curious, like, is it, like, it tells a story when you put all the things together?
kind of. So I separated my device so that way the personal atmosphere box recording. Like, they don't look like everything.
there's you.
Jack, come over here.
Why? What's up? What? Am I breaking out?
No.
Do I look greasy? I feel like I look fucking. I don't know if I'm just. Oh, this hurts my voice. That would be awkward. Anyway, you need to like back up so I can record this better. But if you want me to listen, I can. I'm trying to write things
Take a
down.
photo of this.
Why?
This look creepy. So we can post it on Instagram.
Yeah, it does look creepy.
92%.
92%.
Yeah, I heard it's
Very
very
clear?
Yeah, very clear.
92%.
Guilty pleasure.
Okay, guilty pleasure. Was it clear or just like kind of like? Do you know how some things you can kind of hear but they're like quiet? Is it very clear?
The guilty pleasure one and 92% one was very clear.
We get a lot of sounds and musics and yeah, we get musics. Don't. Every day I think that everything.
I do now. I just started doing that a few months ago.
Las Vegas. Come over here.
Alright, I'll let you guys keep listening. Anything else weird from you two? Anything else coming up?
I don't know if they're relevant at all. 92% guilty pleasure.
That's common. I usually throw those out. We hear that all the time.
And then Las Vegas.
Yeah, 92%.
So I was like, yeah.
92 is definitely a number, so I'm going to write it down. I don't think it's relevant to anything, but again, I won't know until I look at it
Yeah.
with a fresh set of eyes in the morning. Because something might ring a bell when I'm researching something about Jack or something. You know what I mean?
92 could be something.
But yeah, guilty pleasures. We hear that commercial all the time. I just throw it away.
Yeah.
So. All right,
Always
I'm going to
comes
do
to
one
a
more
place.
quick round robin, and I'm going to pull us all back over this way, just so you guys know.
Over here? Okay.
Go over that corner real quick.
Huh?
Let's go over that corner. And what is your mom name?
She's not going to tell you her mom name.
How old am I?
She's not going to know that.
7. I heard something 7.
Huh?
I heard something 7 when I asked how old am I.
She also said 1 p.m. Eastern, whatever.
Where am I? Security? Where
Security.
Security? Where am I? Security? A jail? What happened here?
Let's turn around.
What happened here?
Turn around.
What
Stand
happened
right
here?
Nothing happened here, if you were listening to the story. Don't know why you say that. What?
Do you think they have money? If you actually have money, you would not get that LV bag. So that one is the older one. It's like something my mom would.
And
use.
joined the pirates because she wanted money. I heard famous.
Huh?
It said famous, you didn't hear it? Expand. Let's go back to this corner, I guess.
Who are you?
That's hard for her to answer.
Who are you?
Do you like girls? Are you a lesbian?
Can't ask yes or no.
What did you do to your baby?
What happened to the baby? I don't know. What happened to the baby? No. What happened to the baby?
All right. So, Nancy, you got anything? One last time? Nothing? All right, let's start heading back over towards the wall. Obviously, Jason's device is going AWOL over there, like all kinds of crazy ape shit. What did it say? What'd it say?
Said Tito don't leave or something.
Tito?
Tito's?
Suicide clothes. I got it right here. Suicide.
All right, any numbers that I need to know about? No. Gotcha. And you might see something all the way up to 3 to 7 over here, just because we're close to an electrical pole. That will, because it's on the ground. I don't think I explained what those EMF readings actually mean. I know we had a couple that showed up while we were over at the Pinckney Mansion site. That device, if you were to put it behind your TV, is going to read about 40 to 60 milligauss. Okay, so I think, what was the highest number we had over there? Was it like 17, where there was no electricity whatsoever. If you were to stand next to a microwave with that device, it's going to read about 150 to 170 while it's running on high. The highest I've ever seen that device go has been at the Pinckney Mansion site that we were just at before, 214 milligauss. I will tell you, that evening, I'm the one that caught it, we left. I have epilepsy. I can't play with that much electricity in the air with a neurological disorder. Again, part of the heated warnings of why I put that stuff out there. So again, if it hits triple digits, normally we can tell right away, because it's going to go up that high. Let's go into the answers of the Anne Bonny stuff. I am excited about the word pirate that just showed up. So that was pretty interesting, which was weird because it actually occurred here last night too. And it was said, the pirate you need, or something along those lines. So it was very interesting that you heard the word pirate and the name Johnny that came out of yours. So Johnny is relevant to Calico Jack. His real name was John Rackham. What's funny is how I learned Mr. Jack's last name. It was Christmas time, that same year, 2020, and somebody heard Rack of Ham. John Rackham is spelled Rackham. So it's kind of like, I wrote it down and I'm like, okay, it sounds weird. I'm gonna write it down. And I looked it up the next day. Turns out Calico Jack's real name is Rackham. Anne Bonny, one of the few pictures you can find of this woman with a shirt on. The reason why is she used to bare her breast to show men that they were just killed by a woman. Told you, she was a badass. The names of her parents, William Cormac, Mary Brennan. Neither one of you heard any of those names tonight, so normally they show up together. One person will come up to me and say, I just heard the names William and Mary. Are those relevant? Yes, those are both parents. Not to mention, neither one of you are looking for a Mary, even though we talked about Mary Reed already. So Mary Brennan was the mother. I also like to show you what they based Calico Jack off of, because everybody wants to, or the actual picture of Calico Jack, because everybody wants to see Johnny Depp and what they stemmed that from. Calico Jack was named that because of his jackets. These were jackets that he stole from British captains. Now, his father was a tailor, so textiles were very important to him. Calico Jack, fancy jacket. That's where the name comes from. The name of his ship was called the Kingston. You said something about the city of Kingston, right? Was it the city of Kingston?
Yeah.
Earlier, before you guys actually all got here. So I don't expect the word Kingston to come through off of radio chatter. It would come through as a disembodied voice, meaning it's not radio chatter, an actual ghost telling you through their own voice of how that would actually come through. Or the spirit box that you two are using, it's going to pick up more disembodied voices than any other one that's here, just so you know. The word king would actually suffice in this location if we were to get a direct answer. When I told you that I've only gotten a direct red once or twice, it's been at this location. It's when we were asking Anne Bonny what her hair color is. The only way to get that motion sensor to actually go to red is for Anne to actually touch it. And I was trying to help a person with a spirit box by giving them a simple one-syllable answer of, hey Anne, why don't you ask what her hair color is? And instead, she gave us the answer by showing us on, obviously his color schemes. So it was a very interesting evening over there too. Any other major questions about pirates that I might be able to answer? Because I can go on and on about pirates for probably 3 more hours. Personally, please don't talk more about pirates. I see that look.
I'm sorry.
So, all right. The next place we're going to is the last location, and it is that spot that I don't know a ton about. However, it is definitely a creepy bit of a tale. So again, it's a lot darker than the things that we've been discussing tonight. So you're going to see that once we get into the space. But it is a good 5 to 6 minute walk, so I would say video recorders, if you want to kind of give your cameras a break, but we're going to wing it. And they were cool with it. So, first time I came here, obviously you guys see a ton of monuments in this location. I didn't know who we were going to be connecting with, if anybody at all. What actually happened was all the clues to the gentleman on the monument behind me, led directly to him. We had almost his full name, we had the year of his birth, and something about his wife. I don't remember specifically, but it was very interesting. So I was like, I know I've heard this story before, but it was not in this location. I do a lot of other ghost tours to see what's going on. I go in Sneaky Pete and I run a few EMF meters and a voice recorder and record it later and see what they got going on. I heard this story at the Charleston Library Society from actually a good friend of mine. This is Henry Timrod behind me. He was an author. Quick gist on his whole story. Here's how this goes. What I do know about the man. He was born in 1821. And it was the first thing we heard as soon as we walked into the space was 1821 from a spirit box. Yes, it was verified. So he was very sick even from a young age. You have to remember this man was alive during the Civil War, which took place in the 1860s. He wanted to fight for the Confederacy, for the South. So he joined the army wanting to fight. His comrades figured out that he was too sick to fight. So they actually sent him home, and they knew he was a writer and a poet. So they said, go be the voice of the war. That's exactly what he did. He started writing what it was like in the battlefield and what the people of Charleston were actually going through. So he became this big, renowned poet. His son dies a few years later. So, a very tragic story. And we're going to get into, a couple of details about his son that you're going to find out. But his son dies at a very young age, but he's still sick. his friend from college calls him up. His name is Saul Hain Hamilton. So his initials are PHH in case something pops up. He calls him up and says, you know what, you've had a rough couple of years. I know you're still sick. Why don't you kind of take a break and go finish writing the piece that you're working on at my cottage in Columbia. That's in the middle of the state. So he goes out to the middle of the state and writes his last words. His last words were, beholder of brief mortality, which means holder of short life. And then Henry Timrod coughs, and his cough lands on the page in the form of a bloodstain because he had tuberculosis. Now, the bloodstain actually looks like a person writing over their desk. They called this the blood book. That was his last cough because he died right there while writing that last line of beholder of brief mortality. I'm going to show you what this page actually looks like because they put it on display one day a year at the Charleston Library Society because that's where the collection is held. It is called the Blood Book. We have gotten the term red, blood, and book all in the same evening at this location. So, what I'm going to do after I show you what the actual bloodstain looks like is I read the last stanza from his poem called Charleston just to kind of stir things up a little bit. And it has a few specific key terms in it that will actually come up through your spirit boxes and communication devices. This is the page that he copied. You can see it looks like a man writing over his desk. Again, kind of a little bit of a creepy story. A few things you guys can ask while you're here that I know for certain is the name of his son, what his son's birthday is, because that's a very specific date.
What's his name again?
The gentleman, the father, Henry Timrod.
As we were looking at you here, I said like Homer.
His son's name is very specific, so I will tell you that. The other piece about this is his wife's name has come up several times at this location. Have you guys seen those like stick cameras like on your TV shows? You guys know what I'm talking about? Where it looks like a stick figure in there? I had somebody bring one of those cameras on my tour last week, and obviously I was his first night out with it. We actually had full contact with him standing right here, and he was actually raising his arm on command based on, hey Henry, is it okay if I read the last stanza from your poem called Charleston? Please raise your right hand. And then it will go back down. This went on for 8 minutes. We have the full footage that's actually going to be on your data page tomorrow morning. You'll be able to scroll right down to it and be able to watch it. But let me get into that quick stanza. I know reading poetry is like the most boring thing in the world, but we're stirring things up. You're on a ghost hunt. We know not, in the temple of the fates, God has inscribed her doom, and all untroubled in her faith she waits, the triumph or the tomb. This was written in 1862, right in the middle of the Civil War. What he's basically stating is he's waiting to see what's going to happen to his beloved city of Charleston, the triumph or the tomb, based on the outcome of the war. So again, I know poetry is not everybody's bag, but it's mine. So we're going to go through it and see if we can stir something up by doing so. Here's the weird thing about the space. You can ask those questions that I told you about. Again, I don't know everything about this man. I'm still in the middle of reading 2 different biographies about him. With your device, Jason, we have had spikes over 100 in this location in different spaces on different nights. So some nights it shows up over on this location, over where we came in, or on the exact opposite side of the obelisk in the center of the park. So it's near the tree on the left-hand side. Take your pick. Test them all. Some nights we get nothing. Other nights it's in one space and not the other, and vice versa. Everybody else, definitely get us lots of footage in here. I'm still studying this location. Get that thing cranked up all the way as far as your
Did you hear that song?
Your clockwise on the bottom. Any crazy words showing up on yours?
Yeah, but it wasn't.
Old Exchange. That's all.
But it's not the song.
You've heard,
You heard that song too,
Old
right?
Exchange. We have the old exchange building here.
On the way here. Old Exchange.
So it's not just me.
We're still not near it.
We heard that
I'm not
too.
close enough where I would be like, hell yeah.
Bad
you know,
blood.
the old
That's
exchange
Taylor's
building.
will.
Just an exchange.
All right,
Huh?
let's spread out. Let's see what we can find in this location. Last stop.
We just heard suns when we first came in, before you started talking.
There's only one.
And then you mentioned the sun.
Only one of them. Now,
Just
I'm going to
a-
write it down because it's still good. But we need the sun's name.
And then when we were looking at, you were showing us the photo of the blood spot, it said, home or office? And I was just like, office or desk? And that's a bit of a stretch, but... Huh?
He was in somebody else's home in the office of the home.
Really?
Yeah, when that
Well,
happened.
That is weird. Well, it did say home or office, like
Home or office.
a commercial for Office Depot or something.
What's the name of your son? Georgie?
No.
Corey? Noah?
You can't make your own words. It has to be
I don't
clear.
know, I'm asking. What's the name of your son?
And we hear died. Do you know someone who has died of? So I said died.
What?
Do you hear it as a commercial? Do you know someone who has died of? And then it cut off. Did you not hear that? I swear to God, Tony. Like, do you know someone who has died of cancer? Call this number and we'll get you money. It was like a commercial like that. But it said, do you know someone who has died?
What's your name?
Did he give us a specific question?
What's the name of his son?
No, I'm asking, did he tell us to ask for one?
Yeah.
Was the son?
What's the name of your son? Don't block it.
What was his name again?
I forgot.
Not the son, the guy
I
who
know.
died. What is your name?
Henry Timrod.
Henry Timrod. Henry. Henry, what is your son's name?
Henry. Henry, do you know Key? Let's go. It's like a tree to the left. Henry, where are you? Show us your location.
Well, what do we got now? Anything nuts? That's not an easy spirit box to listen to either. So
It's a lot of static sounds.
Henry, show us the spot.
Huh?
Show me your spot, Henry. Point me to your direction. Left or right? To the left. Henry, which location, which direction should I walk forward? Henry,
Henry doesn't like you.
Henry, show me where to go.
To go where? What kind of questions are you asking? This is not to go anywhere.
What's your child
Asking
name?
for information.
What's the name of the baby?
The body
Unholy?
shop.
Henry, are you doing something unholy? Let's go over there.
Oh, you go. Henry, I know these spirit boxes are not the best thing to communicate, but if you could help us understand, give us the year You died.
When did you die?
February?
Yeah.
February of what year did you die, Henry? Or rather, Henry, what year did you cough blood on your book? Henry, can you tell me the year? I suppose not.
Show me a sign, Henry. Where? Do I go straight?
What you guys got going on?
We got nothing, buddy. I think they're parties or something.
They're partying off somewhere else? Did you guys hear anything coming through yours?
We heard Delaware, 49, Molly.
I don't know who Molly is, but I like numbers.
Delaware and 49.
Again, sometimes things can pop up relative to somebody else. So again,